Crystal Underground is a rap group from Brisbane City, Australia, formed in 2004 by rappers Wicked War. How was the band formed? Through friends? Is it a band formed only by fun or something else? Is it a band against society?
We formed in 2004, but we didn't release our first album until 2 years later. And at the time, the first group I was in was called Gangster Rap Posse. That was before Crystal Underground. And I knew I wanted to be like in a rap group, but I was still like kind of experimenting, not really knowing what kind of a band I wanted to be in. And I guess you could say we're outcasts. Yeah, like, you know, that's why we used to paint our face and all that kind of stuff. Just trying to be different, you know. The first band I started with Warren, we were kicking the idea of Crystal Underground around for like 2 years. We weren't sure if we wanted to be a rap group or a metal band, because we tried being a metal band for a while, and we were called Antichrist for the Future Time, and it was horrible. But after a few attempts at some bands, you know, Crystal Underground eventually felt right. It felt like it was the band that we should start. And once we started, we you know, the very early days, we went full bore, you know, like we put out like our first 3 albums in 3 years, you know. Me and Warren met each other at this place called Creative Minds, where it was for like high school kids that didn't really fit in, you know. We dropped out of school, and there was this place. It was like a big shed, and they had all different kinds of stuff in there. And you know, like you could film movies or whatever, you know, like just do something creative was basically the goal. So yeah, we decided we wanted to start a band. It ended up being too much of a pain in the ass to keep the metal band going. You know, because we were trying to get other members, and you know, like eventually we went the rap route, you know, like because it was just the two of us.
They really have good topics, and I admit it. What was your first album or song they created?
We formed in 2004, but we didn't release our first album until 2 years later. And at the time, the first group I was in was called Gangster Rap Posse. That was before Crystal Underground. And I knew I wanted to be like in a rap group, but I was still like kind of experimenting, not really knowing what kind of a band I wanted to be in. And I guess you could say we're outcasts. Yeah, like, you know, that's why we used to paint our face and all that kind of stuff. Just trying to be different, you know. The first band I started with Warren, we were kicking the idea of Crystal Underground around for like 2 years. We weren't sure if we wanted to be a rap group or a metal band, because we tried being a metal band for a while, and we were called Antichrist for the Future Time, and it was horrible. But after a few attempts at some bands, you know, Crystal Underground eventually felt right. It felt like it was the band that we should start. And once we started, we you know, the very early days, we went full bore, you know, like we put out like our first 3 albums in 3 years, you know. Me and Warren met each other at this place called Creative Minds, where it was for like high school kids that didn't really fit in, you know. We dropped out of school, and there was this place. It was like a big shed, and they had all different kinds of stuff in there. And you know, like you could film movies or whatever, you know, like just do something creative was basically the goal. So yeah, we decided we wanted to start a band. It ended up being too much of a pain in the ass to keep the metal band going. You know, because we were trying to get other members, and you know, like eventually we went the rap route, you know, like because it was just the two of us.
Is there any movie from Crystal Underground? I am curious. I see them with an actor's future.
Yeah, we did make a movie actually in 2007 called Ned and Eddie, A True Hollywood Story, and it's about these guys. They get their show taken off television, and they try to get it back. It's a flaky story.
Have you played live on other occasions? Did you receive good criticism from the public?
Yeah, we perform live at the Springwood Tavern and a few other places, just pubs and stuff around Brisbane. And it got harder to perform when COVID hit, But so we haven't in a while for that reason. But yeah, we've played all around Brisbane, and usually pretty good response. People usually get into it. I think people don't know what to think when they see us on stage, but yeah, they tend to get into it.
Surely they had funny moments and follies. Do you want to tell some that it seems fun and something very crazy that has happened among you?
I remember these people sitting at this table once, and they were really taken back because we were performing the song "Shotgun," and in that song, Warren does this scream where he goes, "Fucker, fucker," and we did it live. And I remember the people, they were really taken back by it because we were just rapping, but we got elements of metal and stuff in our music, because we used to want to be a metal band, I guess. So we've got a bit of rock in our music and stuff, and I remember people were really taken back by that when they heard Warren screaming live, because they weren't expecting it. We were just rapping, and then out of nowhere he started doing scream. There's been some funny incidents too, performing at pubs and the kind of music we do, because we do rap music and it's kind of aggressive sounding. I remember, I remember this one time there was this drunk guy, and he wanted to get on stage and rap. He wanted to do it with us. And it was really funny because he was just he was just drunk as, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think maybe security had to take him out or something. Whenever you perform live, it's generally good to leave. Don't stay around. Just do your gig and then go. Because if you're performing at pubs and stuff, and there's a lot of drunk guys, especially if you're doing rap music, you'll get people come up to you thinking they're a rapper, and it's like they want to challenge you. It's weird behavior. They'll come up to you. They'll come up to you drunk, and they'll be like, "Oh, you think you're a rapper? Oh, I can fucking do rap," and they'll fucking try to challenge you. But usually, most of the time, people liked it. Which is cool. I mean, I've had instances where I was performing the song "Hate Everyone" once, and there was this dude sitting right in front of me, and obviously it's the first time he'd ever heard the song, but whenever the chorus kicked in, I hate everyone, I could see him rapping the chorus along with me. That was pretty cool.
What bands and artists were an influence for you?
Well, yeah, we started Chris Underground when we were kids, so doing rap at such a young age, I just wanted to be like my favorite rapper, so we wanted to be like ICP and Twisted, and but we had other influences as well, like Cypress Hill and stuff like that, and we incorporated that in our music, and other things like Limp Bizkit and Korn, because we still held on to that thing for a long time. We were a rap band that kind of wanted to be a metal band, so we sometimes we made songs where we tried to sound like Limp Bizkit or something. These days, though, I think we've definitely developed our own sound and our own style, like Crystal Underground. If you listen to the last couple albums, Yin Yang, Twins, or even New World Order, we got our own style, But back in the real early days, yeah, we were just experimenting, I guess, and we were trying to sound like ICP and, trying to sound like our favorite rappers. And we got a lot of shit for that back in the day, as rappers painting our face and stuff. They'd be like, "Oh, you're trying to be like these guys, or you're trying to be like those guys," and it's like, well, yeah, that they were who we were inspired by, But we definitely have developed our own style over the years. I mean, of course, when we're kids, we're just, you know, we were still so new to the game, we didn't like I said, we didn't know who we wanted to be. We just knew we wanted to be somebody.
Your makeup represents something personal.
Yeah, well, we went with the face paint, because, uh, the record label, it's got a horror aesthetic, Evil Dead Records. So we wanted to look different, we didn't want to look like regular rappers. We were trying to stand out. So and our music was very much, you know, embracing being an outcast and being a weirdo, you know. So we thought, yeah, we'll paint our faces, and I'm not, you know, not really sure what we were going for. Just trying to look, yeah, just trying to look different because we were mad like juggalos, you know, like that whole early era, you know, like the first couple Crystal Underground albums, they're really, you know, juggalo influenced. But I didn't always wear the face paint. I when I started rapping, I didn't wear it. When I was in Gangster Rap Posse, I didn't wear it. Because I guess I just dressed like what I thought a gangster would dress like. I don't know. But when we started Evil Dead Records, it was sort of like a, I don't know, like, okay, it's the beginning of a new era, so we got to switch things up. We got to try to look different. We got to try to stand out, you know.
Are you currently a solo artist?
Well, at the moment, I'm working on a project with Bloody, and that's called Enemies with Benefits. Besides that, though, I don't have like, yeah, like I'm not working on anything with Crystal Underground, and I'm not working with um, prosthetics currently. I'm currently not really doing anything with either of those groups. There could also be a potential Pulsecure album, but that's only just the idea of that's only just started. Mostly just focusing on my solo record at the moment. Mostly just focusing on my solo record at the moment. Just focusing on promoting the new album and like, because I want to do like maybe a couple more music videos for it and stuff.
There was some grounds. Love or man in love with you.
Yeah, it's sort of this thing like when you make yourself a public figure, you know, and like, cause you know, like I made my rap name my real name, you know, like, so, uh, and the reason I did that was because I got sick of people saying I'm trying to be something I'm not. So it was like, oh well, you can't say I'm not Zeke Hayter, you know, like, so it was sort of this thing, and also I had people always tell me, because I used to try to use these rap names, like Body Bag was my rap name at one point, and people would always be like, you should just use your real name because Zeke Hayter is a really cool name, and like I had a few people say that to me, and so eventually I was like, yeah, I probably should, because people would always be like, that sounds like a rock star's name, so it's like, oh fuck it, I'll use my real name. But yeah, like when you make yourself a public figure, like you type in Zeke Hayter in Google or whatever, and you'll have a whole bunch of shit come up. That can lead to, you know, a lot of weird people commenting on your stuff and shit like that, you know, but that kind of thing happens. Like, I've had to block people, like extras and stuff, because they'll go to my music page and try to stalk me on there. But it's all good. I've never had anyone, like, stalk me that bad.
That's all for today. Do you want to speak or tell something else? I have no further questions.
It's a country album mixed in with dubstep. Some of my messages aren't sending through. It didn't send through. I said to check out my new album. It's just called Zeke Hayter New. So it's real easy to remember.